Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Bhagavatam 3.24.44. Nirahankritir nirmamascha nirdvandva samadrik svadrik pratyak prashanta dhiraha prashantormi ivodadihi. Nirahankritir nirmamascha nirdvandva samadrik svadrik pratyak prashanta dhiraha prashantormir ivodadihi. Nirahankritir nirmamascha nirdvandva samadrik svadrik pratyak prashanta dhiraha prashantormir ivodadihi. Word to word meaning. Nirahankriti, without false ego. Nirmamaha, without material affection. Cha and nirdvandvaha, without duality. Samadrik, seeing equality. Swadrik, seeing himself. Pratyak, turned inward. Prashanta, perfectly composed. Dhihi, mind. Dhiraha, sober, not disturbed. Prashanta, calmed. Urmihi, whose waves. Iva, like. Udadihi, the ocean. Translation. Thus, he gradually became unaffected by the false ego of material identity and became free from material affection. Undisturbed, equal to everyone, and without duality, he could indeed see himself also. His mind was turned inward and was perfectly calm, like an ocean unagitated by waves. Purport. Based on this, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When one's mind is in full Krishna consciousness and one fully engages in rendering devotional service to the Lord, he becomes just like an ocean unagitated by waves. This very example is also cited in Bhagavad Gita. One should become like the ocean. The ocean is filled by many thousands of rivers, and millions of tons of its water evaporates into clouds. Yet the ocean is the same unagitated ocean. The laws of nature may work, but if one is fixed in devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord, he is not agitated, for he is introspective. He does not look outside the material nature, but he looks into the spiritual nature of his existence. With a sober mind, he simply engages in the service of the Lord. Thus, he realizes his own self without false identification with matter and without affection for material possessions. Such a great devotee is never in trouble with others because he sees everyone from the platform of spiritual understanding. He sees himself and others in the right perspective. मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for all the devotees who are assuming for morning Bhagavatam class. And myself, I feel the junior most here. So I seek blessings of all the senior devotees present. And so it's always a complaint that I don't speak devotees or be it colleagues or anyone. So mukam karoti vachalam. So by the blessings of all devotees, something I can speak. So yeah, we'll start with actually wanted to discuss all the qualities one by one, and then how actually to attain those qualities, and yeah, in that way wanted to go. So first one, we actually see this quality of nirahankritir. So before that, we wanted to just give a flow how actually this started. Kardamuni and Devahuti, and after enjoying both, and then Devati's lamentation, and then Kardamuni is actually preparing himself to renounce as he already said before the marriage. So once he gives a son Kapil Dev, now he is ready to go. So once he is leaving, so these are the qualities that are mentioned, how he gradually attained these qualities, and then he left home. So first one, we see that Nirahankriti, Ahankara, this is the opposite of Ahankara. Ahankara means false ego. So false ego, what is the definition of false ego? It basically says that when we forget our true identity, that itself is called as false ego. So many times we see that there are problems, suffering in our life, and then we try to solve those problems on the surface. But if we really want to solve the problem, we have to catch the root of those problems. And the root of all problems is actually the false ego. So here there is one verse in 11 canto which says that false ego, it actually comes and it is displayed in three modes: false ego in mode of goodness, and then in passion, and then in mode of ignorance. So what is false ego in goodness? So basically, if you see impersonalist, they are in the goodness, but they speak more about how we can attain that universal consciousness. So people, when they hear such words, universal consciousness, I can become God, and I'm not ordinary person. I'm beyond all this material duality. I'm beyond the miseries. I'm actually the spirit soul. I'm full of knowledge. I'm full of bliss. So people will get enamored. Oh, correct. I am something great. So in that way, that is basically false ego in mode of goodness. But basically, Bhagavatam says, "Ye Aravindaksha vimuktamaninas toyastabhavad avishuddha buddhaya." Basically the one who goes to the highest extent, but still till the extent of Brahman, but basically falls down because he doesn't have that shelter in the lotus feet of Krishna. And next we see, once that happens, when he falls down, he comes to the false ego in mode of passion. So that is basically to do good to others. Basically this has something greater, higher pleasure even than gross sense gratification. Somebody is thinking, okay, I am the shelter. Because of me, so many people are actually getting food. Because of me, so many people are getting liberated. So like that, when he thinks, so that is in the false ego in mode of passion. And so that is even greater than gross sense gratification. And false ego in mode of ignorance is basically the gross sense gratification. So that is the somebody wants to actually, this is the most people in the world actually fall in this category, because that is something related to gross sense gratification. Somebody wants to taste something very nice, and somebody wants to touch something very soft, or smell something very wonderful, see something beautiful, and like that, speak something very nice. So hear something very soothing, very nice music. So this is basically, that's how most of the advertisement are actually utilizing this, and attracting so many people, and in that way alluring them with this false ego in the mode of ignorance. So they're titillating that, and then they're making money or whatever it is. So yes, false ego is there. So many of us are, it's like because of which we are in the material world. So how to overcome that false ego? So it's told that we have to serve the Vaishnavas, and with humble service attitude, when we serve the Vaishnavas, then actually Krishna appears in the holy name. So when Krishna appears in the holy name, and when we chant that holy name, then it will actually produce humility again back. So it's a cycle. Trunadapi sanechena tarorapi saishnuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sadari. So with that humility, we can actually always chant by respecting everyone and tolerating the difficulties, dualities. And in turn, when we respect and when we chant constantly, we again get that humility. So one more aspect how to develop is, when somebody is humble, he will actually pay heed to the good advice that is given by the senior devotees or any Vaishnava for that matter. So, but if somebody is proud, somebody is having false ego, then whatever advice you give, he'll just hear in one ear and it will go in the other ear. And in that way, that will lead to disasters. For example, if you take Titanic ship, so it is the modern 20th century example you can give that. It was told that Titanic, it's like even God cannot sink such a kind of ship. That's why there was so many lifeboats, and all the lifeboats, 3/4 of them, they actually removed it, thinking that, oh, anyway, it is not going to sink, and it's a very great ship. And because it will look very nice if it is empty space and people can walk around, see the ocean, and they can enjoy. And after removing 3/4 boats, and one more thing, the advice given was, don't go over speed. There was particular speed given, and but they crossed it. They thought, okay, let us go a little fast and reach America. So in that way, we will get more credit, and so many people will give more applause, and thinking that great ship, it came before time. So in that way, when they did that, we saw what happened. So it went into and sunk deep into the ocean. And to just find out that Titanic ship, it took 75 years where actually it went. And they spent millions of dollars just to search the Titanic ship, because that was a great event, a great historic event, and they wanted to find it out. So in that way, even in our spiritual life, the stability actually comes when we are humble. So when that is the prerequisite, humility is the prerequisite quality for spiritual stability. So if not, we will again sink just like the Titanic ship. So sink in our spiritual life, so that we will not have anything to hold on. And one more example we can give of John F. Kennedy. So he actually said that he was very confident and he was going somewhere out, and his very security people told that somebody is ready to assassinate him, and there are people there waiting out there. Then he told, he was very young and he was not worried. No, that's not going to happen. So he just boarded the car and he went, and we know what happened, right? One of them shot him dead. So in that way, when we actually are taking the good advice of the seniors, we can actually grow in our spiritual life. In that way, we can overcome false ego, because we cannot see our false ego with our even the intelligence, because even intelligence is below our false ego. False ego is higher than intelligence. So in that way, we can actually see that even Dasharath Maharaj, so Ramnami is coming, so we just want to give some examples from there. So he actually was the king of the whole world, and he saw that when Vishwamitra Muni came, he actually got down from the throne and he placed Vishwamitra Muni on the throne, and he respected him like a king. In that way, he was actually completely gave up his false ego. So when that happens, then actually we can overcome the false ego. We cannot see, but when the seniors see and tell us, we can at least take their good advice and apply, and then in that way we can overcome false ego. And next quality we speak about nirmama. So that mama means mine. So I, me, mine. So we can just see how many times in a day we use these words I, and I, it's me, it's mine. So even in 11th canto, 23rd chapter and 49th verse, there is one sloka which actually tells. So I'll just read out the translation. Yeah, it says basically, persons who identify with this body, which is simply the product of the material mind, are blinded in their intelligence, thinking in terms of I and mine. Because of their illusion of this is I, but that is someone else, they wander in endless darkness. Well, this is a translation. How it says, that's how it's all connected. When the false ego is there, when true identity is not there, that we are servants of Krishna, then we identify with so many other things, that I am this body, anything that belongs to this body is mine. I am studied in such and such college, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a man, I'm a woman, so many things we get identified with. And that actually produces nirmama. So that is the mama, that is me and mine. So what is nirmama? It's opposite of mama. That's nothing is mine. So it is all Krishna's. So what am I? I am Krishna's. And who is mine? Krishna is mine. I am Krishna's and Krishna is mine. That is the identity of a devotee. It is told also in Bhagavad Gita that in 12th chapter, Advesta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukakshami. So here it's told that sarva nirmamo means again he is not thinking something is mine, something is others. And nirahankara is out of false ego. So all these qualities come in that verse only. Samadukha sukakshami nirdvandva. And also we can actually identify ourselves with the devotees than thinking like we can identify with Krishna, that Krishna is mine, I am Krishna's. At the same time, we identify with devotees, that devotees are mine. So they are my family. There is a song in Vaishnava song which says, Dhana Mora Nityananda Pati Mora Gaura Chandra Prana Mora Jugala Kishora Advaita Acharya Bala. Gadadhara Morakula Narahari Vilasi Mora. So Gadadhara Morakula. So here is identifying with the devotees that they are my family. So in that way we can actually think about this word Nirmama, how we can overcome that something is me and mine, Nirmama. Next quality we speak about the Dvandva. So Dvandva is basically dualities. We get affected by so many dualities, the heat, cold, happiness, distress, man, apaman, and insults, and then praises, etc., etc. So dualities is basically because we are in the center. We keep ourselves in the center, and we actually, with bodily consciousness, we think I am this body again. That is the cause of the dualities. Then we think, okay, whatever is pleasing to this body, so that is desirable, and whatever is not pleasing to the body, so that is not at all desirable. So in that way, we come under the dualities, and we get affected by dualities. And on spiritual platform, if we see that, we see everything according to Krishna's perception. Like I was hearing Bhakti Charu Maharaj was telling that Krishna's perception means what? Krishna wants day, okay, I'll accept it. Oh, Krishna wants night, I'll accept it. So Krishna wants cool atmosphere, I'll accept. Oh, he wants hot atmosphere, I'll accept it. So somebody may ask, okay, that is the case, then devotee is like a stone. So what is the difference between stone and devotee, some personality like devotee? Then actually it's told that, no, he's not like a stone, he acts for the service of Krishna. Like if you take a yogi, he may think, okay, whatever happens, let it happen, I don't care. My only worry is whether I get liberated or not. He's thinking about his own suffering and enjoyment. But devotee acts for service of Krishna. For example, if rice got over in voice or in center, in temple, in home, then devotee doesn't think, okay, let it be. He'll go out and bring rice. So for what? Not for his pleasures, but for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, for Krishna I have to cook, I have to feed Krishna. So in that way he actually goes and works, but accepts Krishna's will always. So in that way he overcomes duality. Again, there are different verses in Bhagavad Gita which talks about this. Some of them are like Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama Dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha samgner gacchantya modha padam avyayam tat. So sukha dukkha samgner, he seeks equally the sukha and dukkha. So and another verse like Dukkeshu anadvigna manaha sukeshu vigataspriha vitaraga bhaya krodha Sitadir Muniruchati. So he is again saying the dualities equally, dukkha, sukha. Matra Sparshasta Kantya is famous verse, how we can actually tolerate. So that is one thing that Krishna tells Arjuna, that you tolerate the dualities. That thing we can actually do. That's something doable, we can just tolerate. So nothing we can do about it. And another verse like Sukha Dukkha Samay Kritva, Labha Labho Jaya Jayau. So Yudhaya Yujasva, Naivasvam Praptamarhasi, Apapsisi. So that basically says that again, victory or defeat or be it again happiness, distress, one actually does not stop his duty or service. So that is one more thing, that when we talk about duality, the main thing is our service should not stop because of dualities. Prabhupada used to give this example of cold. In cold, somebody will take bath. So taking bath in the cold winter, so though in the morning, and then for cooking in the June time, that's too hot. So, but still the service doesn't stop. Devotee actually go on with the service in spite of all the dualities. So then again, next word, the quality which we speak of is samadrik. So here we can see all these qualities with respect to yogi or a devotee, because this chapter says how dhyana yoga is performed, and then the perfection of dhyana yoga is he has attained the Kardamuni, and in that way is now renouncing. So, but a devotee also has all these qualities. But if you see yogi, he sees everyone as a soul, spirit soul, and but how a devotee sees everyone, he sees soul, at the same time he sees Paramatma in the heart of every living entity. So in that way, he sees equality. He sees in connection with Krishna. Though every jiva is a part and parcel of Krishna. Again, Bhagavad Gita says, Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi hastini shuni chaiva shvapake cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. It tells how one sees, Pandita sees everyone equally. Different species, for example, the elephant, the cow, they are different species. And different castes, somebody is a Brahmana, somebody is a outcast. So he sees everyone equally. Again, because he sees the Paramatma in everyone's heart. There is a verse called Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atmana Shochati Na Kankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param. So basically, how one, by seeing everyone equally, that is a very wonderful quality and very difficult to practice also. But when we actually practice, then we can see that one attains bhakti in the heart. And even for preaching purpose, it's very important. It's required because if you see somebody is sinful, or he is simply sleeping all the time, is eating, or is committing sinful activities, then we cannot preach. So we have to see how to actually hate the sin, but not the sinner. So in that way, that is a very important quality for a preacher as well. And this way, devotee is samadrik. And also, samadrik doesn't mean actually, okay, see everyone equally, means you go and embrace a tiger. So that is not possible, right? So the Vedic scriptures are very wonderful. They actually say us how practically in ground level also we can work out. It's not just theoretical. So they say how when dog is there, householder, he brings, he keeps something for the dog outside and it will eat and it will go away. And for cat, he may keep milk, or somebody is bigger, he'll give food. And in that way, he sees everyone equally. He gives prasad so that they can again attain the human form and go back to Godhead. And Maharaj was telling one of the lectures, and Bhakti Charu Maharaj, that Samadruk means devotee sees in the, like that verse is there which says Ishvareta dadhineshu balisheshu dvishatsucha prema maitri kripa upeksha yakaroti samadhyamaha. Means he sees everyone according to their, he respects everyone according to their level. Like somebody is envious of Krishna, he doesn't disturb him. And he'll be wait for some time till he becomes favorable for Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he may become more envious. And somebody is a devotee, makes friendships, and for Lord he has love in that way. So he deals accordingly. Even that song says Dehonata Yata Yata. So everyone he respects, and by respecting everyone, he actually gains that quality, and he can chant without disturbance. So that is Samadrik. And now going to Swadrik, the next quality, it basically tells about who am I. A person introspects. So this somebody in the bodily consciousness sees himself as a body, like Yasyatma Buddhi Gunapetri Dhatake Swadehi Kalatradishi Bhaumaijyati Yatirtha Buddhi Salena Karichit Janeshu Abhigneshu Saeva Gokara. Means he sees I am the body made up of these three dhatus, the Kapha, Vata, Pitta. And in that way he thinks I am this. But a yogi sees himself as a soul. But a devotee sees himself as the servant of Krishna. So that is Swadrak. He always sees himself as servant of Krishna. And he does self-assessment. So this also means how we do self-assessment. How is my chanting going on in my life? Am I eager for service, or am I escaping from the services? So once Radhesham was telling in one class that we can keep a notebook and we can see how much time we are doing gossip, how much time we are wasting, or any bad habit, how often we are falling to it. We can just tick mark some secret notebook. In that way, we can analyze and improve ourselves. So that is self-assessment. That's again the Swadrik, how a devotee sees himself. Next, we see the quality of Pratyak, means mind turned inward. So he's introspective. The sage, the devotee is very introspective. And it's told you are where your mind is. So though many things may be happening around, but he is not distracted. But usually that's what happens. We get distracted. Oh, somebody did something, some kartal sound came, and then we immediately see there. And many things, or externally, whatever happens, it has a lot of influence on us right now, which is like a centrifugal force. It's outside force. But a devotee sees actually inside, focusing on Atma and Paramatma. That is like a centripetal force, focusing inside. So it is told in Bhagavad Gita, I think, 5th chapter, 24th verse, which says, Yo antha sukho antara aramas. Means he is actually deriving joy inside, within. So otherwise, how is it, Prabhupada writes in the purport, how is it possible that one renounces all the external engagements meant for superficial enjoyment? So otherwise, it's not possible. One is actually deriving that internal pleasure in Krishna consciousness, because of which he renounces the external pleasures or activities to derive those external pleasures. And he's meditating internally, and then he's actually thinking what Krishna wants from me. So let me actually accordingly makes external adjustments. So internally he's thinking what Lord wants, and then externally he's adjusting things according to Lord's desire. In that way, we can see many examples also how devotees who are so blissful in their Krishna consciousness. For example, Rupa Goswami, he is telling, Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Ghatayate Karnarbudebhya Spriham Chetha Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No Jane Janita Kiyat Piramratai Krishneti Varnadvayi. He tells, I want millions of years and I want millions of mouths to chant the holy names of Lord, the glories of the Lord. And by hearing that, when it enters the ear and enters the courtyard of my heart, then actually all my senses become numb. And I don't know what kind of nectar it's producing, the two-syllable name, Krish and Na. So in that way, Rupa Goswami you can see, and you can see Yamunacharya. He tells that Yadavadi mama chetah Krishna padaravinde navanavarasadamani udyatam rantumasit tadavadi vatanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukavikara shushtu nishtivanam cha. He tells that as and when my mind became fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna, and I'm deriving newer and newer pleasures, and in that way, whenever the thought of associating with women comes in my mind, I spit at that thought. So that's the level they've attained, that they're able to give up external enjoyment or the activities for that, and by internal meditation on Krishna. So that is Pratyak, mind inward. Even the Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, Prabhupada Saraswati Maharaj tells. And next, going to last quality, that is Prashanta Dihi, Urmi Ivodadihi, means how a devotee is perfectly calm in his mind and is not agitated by the external waves. So almost similar to the previous one. It is told in Bhagavad Gita also. Apuryamanam machala pratishtam samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantim apnoti na kama kami. So desires are actually gushing like a river into the ocean, but he is not agitated by that. Like for example, somebody may see, oh, my salary is so much, and somebody sells his salary is so much, so I have to get a better salary and job. And somebody is saying, I have 2 BHK, I need to take 3 BHK. So some other friend is telling, and he's thinking, okay, I am good, I am happy in this. So he's not agitated, or nor he is trying for it. He just ignores. Okay, it's just a material desire. So what Krishna wants, let me do that. So in that way, neither agitated nor attracted by these desires. And also, waves are only on the surface. So if you see, if you go deep in the ocean, that is very calm, very peaceful. So in that way, we can say that how till the time our consciousness is on the surface, on a superficial level, on the bodily consciousness, we are agitated by the material desires. But the more we go deep inside, and the more we develop spiritual attachments instead of material attachments, and spiritual possessions instead of material possessions, in that way, we actually become very peaceful, very calm, and unagitated. And yeah, the nature of this world is the calamities. So they are supposed to come. But what we are supposed to do, we don't have to get disturbed by them. So just like Prabhupada, if you see, he was cooking kachoris when the Japan is putting bomb on the place where he was staying, Bengal, I guess. So he was so like careless, or you can say he was not worried about at all about this, what is happening. So in that way, he was unagitated, or he was prashantadi, like an ocean, he was unagitated. And we say that whenever the bottle is empty, then we want to fill it or something, but bottle is already filled. Then what we do? We don't do anything. We are happy, satisfied. So in that way, when we are vacant, then we want so many things. So nowadays people, you can see so much vacancies there in the heart, because of which so many things we need. Okay, we need that purchase. That is called consumerism. Consumerism mentality is very, what we can say now, it's very vibrant in the sense. Flipkart, Amazon, all these things are booming because of this only, the consumerism mentality. So that is because we are feeling a lot of vacancy in the heart, because there is no Krishna in the heart. We just need to remove material possessions and then we put Krishna in the heart, fill the heart with Krishna or holy name of Krishna, then we don't need the external things much. So we become satisfied. And then there is one verse called Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suradham Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachati. So how we can attain peace, that is called peace formula. It's 5.29, which says that when we know that Krishna is the Bhokta, he is the enjoyer, real enjoyer, and he is the person who is the real controller, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, controlling all the planets, and then Suradham Sarvabhutanam, he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. That time we attain Jnatva Mam Shanti Murchati, the peace, the everlasting peace, not the peace, temporary peace of this material world, which some people get just by doing some meditation. So one more verse says, the Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataiva Shanta. So only Krishna Bhakta is Shanta, because he doesn't have any desire for himself. He just wants to serve the Lord and please the Lord. But whereas all others, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, they want something for themselves. They want material enjoyment, they want liberation, they want controllership or the mystic siddhis. So in that way, they're always thinking of those things and they're agitated. And that way they're not peaceful. So these are some things we can think about, how we can actually try to at least come closer to these qualities. And one more important thing is how to attain these qualities. At last, I just want to conclude by saying that there is one verse which again from Bhagavatam, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati yakinchana sarve gunaistatra mahasate suraha rava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavatu bahi. Which tells that by Bhagavati Akinchana, by serving the Lord with Akinchana, means without any motive, just to please the Lord, then actually one attains all the good qualities of all the demigods. So in that way, but if it's take a non-devotee, if somebody is not a devotee, all these good qualities are Rava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna. Where are the good qualities? There are no good qualities. They are just wandering on the chariot of mind. So Manorathena Sati Dhavato Bahihi. So that is told like that. So in that way, we can attain good qualities by serving the Lord. Even if you just see the translation of this verse, I'll just again share the screen. Yeah. Thus, he gradually became unaffected by the false ego of material identity and became free from material affection. Undisturbed, equal to everyone, and without duality, he could indeed see himself also. His mind was turned inward and was perfectly calm like an ocean unagitated by waves. So if you see here, it's told gradually he became unaffected. So that means he has done something before, right? Because of which he is getting these qualities. So we'll go to previous verse, which says, he fixed his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman, who is beyond cause and effect, who manifests the three modes of material nature, who is beyond those three modes and who is perceived only through unfailing devotional service. So he fixed his mind upon the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Parabrahman. So that is one thing we can try to do. While developing these qualities externally, we can try to come closer to Lord by fixing mind. In the sense, in practical way, we can just chant Hare Krishna. So chanting Hare Krishna, how we do? First, physically, we need to be present in the morning program. So first bring the physical body, then pay attention to the holy name, to bring mind to the holy name. And then finally consciousness, that is so far, but still, after once the mind is fixed, when we are attentive in the holy name, then we can actually try to come to the mood of prayerful mode. So Lord, how I am fallen into this ocean of birth and death, please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So when we do the sadhana very attentively, that is also surrendered to Krishna. So when we hear the holy name, that we are surrendering our propensity to hear to the holy name of Krishna is not different than Krishna. In that way, when we do that, then gradually we don't know how it happens. But here Bhagavatam is telling, gradually we come to that level where we develop these qualities, all these wonderful qualities that are mentioned again and again in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. I was just seeing Stitadhira Muni, 2nd chapter, 5th chapter, it is mentioned in the 6th chapter. All Bhagavatam and all through the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, all these qualities. So we get the faith that, oh, these are the qualities that are required to go back to Godhead. So again and again, when it is mentioned, we get faith. Yes, this is what I have to develop. So we try to develop those qualities in that sense. And yeah, thank you very much. If devotees have any questions or comments, please.
In the chat, I think one question is there.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can bhakti be influenced by mode of passion? If so, will that cycle of humility take time? Bhakti cannot be influenced by mode of passion. I didn't understand the second part of the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
This is Sanatana Kardas. Prabhu, so you were talking about how false ego influenced by different modes, and when we do bhakti, we are not influenced. So I'm not talking about someone who is in pure bhakti. My question is someone who is trying to follow bhakti. Are they influenced by the mode of passion? If you say no, then it's fine. If they are influenced, then you said that it's humility is a cycle, right? That's what I understood, that once you show humility, do service, then you'll automatically get more humility. You spoke about that cycle. So I just want to know if that cycle gets delayed because of our ego. It could be passion or ignorance or even the mode of goodness.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for the question. So as far as I understand, like, yes, bhakti cannot be influenced, but a person who's performing the devotional service, he can be influenced by the mode of passion. So in that way, yes, that's why we try to be humble. No devotee wants to be proud and he wants to offend other devotees. Everybody is sincere, because of which we are still in devotional service. But sometimes because of overcome by mode of passion, we may become offensive to devotees, become proud, etc., etc. So in that way, yeah, obviously there is a delay in the cycle when that happens, and so we can actually, that's what we can try to come to the mode of goodness by the activities like cleanliness and all different things that all that's mentioned in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, with what kind of food we eat, etc., etc. So some way it will help to come to the mode of goodness, and in goodness it's always easy to practice devotional service. And in that way, we can again raise to transcendence. So where there is no more passion, the act of passion, and then we can be free from these offenses or the passion acting on us.
So can I say that if I become passionate in bhakti, then I become offensive? Is that the right statement based on what you said?
Passionate, yeah, means it's not like passionate in the sense the mode of passion when it's acting. Yeah, basically one becomes proud. So because of pride that happens, the whatever the offenses, but it may not be the same case because of passions. There is many things that can happen. So somebody out of passion, he may go to some other extent to do some other bad things, but we can try to engage as much as possible whatever we have in service of Krishna, and that way we can.
Okay.
Grow.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
If somebody has any feedbacks, comments.
Any question for Aravindaih Prabhu? Maybe if live stream can be off. Should it be of the live stream?